Hey, where's my food? Sorry, I'm feeling unwell, please make it yourself. What, seriously, you just want to slack off, don't you? Hearing Sam speak in such a disappointed tone, my mood sinks to rock bottom. It's Sam's fault that I'm bedridden and feeling sick. Recently, I discovered an unbelievable truth about Sam. The shock from that revelation made me ill and forced me to be bedridden. Yet, Sam, unaware of this, keeps complaining to me as I lie in bed. A sense of resignation washes over me as Sam shows no concern for me at all. What was all our married life about? After such horrible treatment, am I really going to continue being his wife? As I cry and lie in bed, our children come to me. It's okay, Mom, don't worry, we'll make him regret this. We'll show him hell. Moved by my children's reassuring words, I dry my tears. I am their mother. For the sake of a happy future for my children, I can't stay down forever. And so, together with my children, I began to plan our revenge on the traitor, Sam. My name is Nancy, and I'm a 46-year-old working mother. I lead a busy life working in the department of a food processing company while also managing childcare and housework. I've been working at this company since graduating from high school and have been recognized for my years of service. I currently serve as the department head. It's a hectic daily routine, but recently, my 2 children have been helping out with the chores, which has been a great help. Tomorrow is going to be a very busy day at work, so maybe we should get takeout for dinner. If you're busy with work, I'll cook dinner tomorrow, you focus on your job, Mom. And I'll take care of the laundry, leave the household stuff to me and Big Brother. Thank you both, that's really helpful. My eldest, Jack, just turned 13 and is quite responsible and a natural leader. The younger, John, is 10 and charming, with great social skills and a cute demeanor. Moreover, both children turned out to be quite intellectual, unlike me. It's likely that they have inherited this from their grandfather, who was a professor at a prestigious university. My children, who have grown up to be wonderful, soothe my heart, but that peace is quickly disrupted. Your job is probably so easy you could do it with one hand tied behind your back, right? I think it's wrong that you let the kids do the housework just because you want to slack off. Sam said this to me with a mocking smile, his words sharp and hurtful. He used to be a kind husband for a while after we got married, but now it's become routine for him to look down on me and mock me. After giving birth, I took some maternity leave, but to him, it seems like I'm just taking time off from work to slack off. Since then, he has belittled my job and makes remarks like he did earlier. But Sam's troubles aren't just limited to comments like these. You guys agree, right? Housework is women's work, any guy would understand that. He said, trying to enlist our 2 sons in his misguided cause to ridicule me. But Sam is the type who thinks child-rearing is also women's work and has never really engaged in it. Because of this, the children are not very attached to him. That's a pretty outdated way of thinking. Dad, you're behind the times. Lately, the kids often talk back like this, and each time, Sam shows a displeased expression. Despite it being his own fault he's treated coldly by the children, Sam doesn't seem to understand. He's been coming home late these days, perhaps finding the house unwelcoming, further diminishing his presence as a father. I sigh daily, wishing to be a better role model for my children, but wondering if it's too late. Then one day. Let's go to the outlet mall this weekend. Surprisingly, Sam suggested an outing. There have been very few times that Sam has made such suggestions. Family trips and outings are usually my ideas, and Sam just tags along. I got a bonus, so I'll buy you guys whatever you want. It seems Sam is trying to win the children's favor with gifts, as they have been even colder towards him lately. Sam ridicules me. And he thinks the kids are cold because they're just going through a rebellious phase, not realizing he's the cause. The kids see right through Sam's shallow thinking, and, as expected, they didn't react well. I want to study for a test. Studying at home on a weekend, that's unhealthy, let's go out together. But you said if I don't rank high on this test, you'll cut my allowance. Jack makes a disgusted face, and John reluctantly responds. I'd rather get some exercise than go shopping. If we're going out, I want to go to that new adventure park. Did you forget I hurt my back last time? We need to go somewhere that's fun for everyone. I'm not that into shopping though. I quietly sighed at Sam's futile efforts, utterly exasperated. Well, the kids say that, but if we go out, they'll probably end up enjoying themselves despite everything. I looked forward to a rare full family outing while managing through the busy weekdays. However, on the day of the outing, while we were all ready and had finished breakfast, Sam just wouldn't wake up. "Hey, Sam, if we don't leave now, we'll arrive after lunch." I went to wake him up, frustrated, but he brushed me off in a half-asleep state. "Stop bothering me, I'm tired from working overtime." Though it was Sam who suggested the outing, his utterly selfish behavior left me speechless. So, I left Sam behind and went to the outlet mall just with the kids. The kids seemed to have a great time, and I'm glad we went. However, when we got back home, Sam, still in his pajamas, was clearly in a bad mood, waiting for us. "Why didn't you wake me up?" "I did wake you, but you were the one who said not to, remember?" Still, leaving me behind was mean. Watching Sam complain incessantly, the kids looked exasperated. His grumpiness spoiled the good mood from our day out. As the kids tried to spread out their new purchases in the living room, Sam glared at them. "Is this to spite me?" The kids, with cold looks, silently put away their purchases, despite this attitude likely making them dislike him even more. I was at my wit's end with Sam, who understood nothing. A few weeks after our trip to the outlet, Sam mentioned he would be late because of a work happy hour and left the house. I enjoyed a peaceful meal with the kids for the first time in a while. When Sam is around, he complains that the TV shows are boring or the food is too salty, which sours the mood. But our peaceful time was short-lived. I'm home, brought some coworkers with me. What, it's already 10 p.m. Drunk and flushed, Sam had returned home with his colleagues. All cheerfully inebriated, they happily followed Sam inside one by one. I rushed to the living room, frantically preparing to entertain the unexpected guests. "Hey, bring some snacks and drinks, will you?" "Okay." Sam sat down and began issuing commands arrogantly, demanding this and that. "Sorry for showing you my wife without makeup, I always tell her to be ready, but she's just lazy, you know. I wasn't wearing makeup because I had just taken a bath, and it's unrealistic to stay fully dressed up so late at night." Nevertheless, Sam continued to belittle me in front of his colleagues. "Sorry for the bad leftovers, she claims she's busy with work and cuts corners, your wife must be better, right, a good cook." They came over without any notice, so I could only serve what I had prepared in advance. Besides, the kids say they like my cooking. My anger towards Sam's insensitivity grew stronger. Sensing my anger, his colleagues realized they were being a nuisance because of their drunkenness. "Well then, we should be going," they said, and quickly left. What, it was just about to get fun. I was so dismayed by Sam, who seemed oblivious to everything, that I was left speechless. Afterward, Sam didn't bother to clean up, he just quickly took a bath and went to bed. However, the next day, when Sam went to work, it seems his colleagues reprimanded him about the previous evening. They admitted they were also at fault for impulsively going to the house while drunk. But they told him he should be more considerate of his wife. "It's your fault we were so embarrassed." But Sam ignored his colleagues' advice and continued to blame me instead. Is it a waste of hope to want him to realize the impact of his actions? Months later, Sam's returns home have become even later, and it's been just the kids and me for dinner. It's nice to have peaceful nights, but isn't he coming home too late? That's what I thought when Sam's smartphone caught my eye. He had said he was going to take a bath. It's unusual for him not to take his phone with him to the bathroom, and just then, the screen lit up. "What's that?" I glanced over casually, and what appeared was shocking. An unknown woman's name was displayed with a suspicious message saying, "Yesterday was so much fun." Feeling uneasy, I waited until Sam had passed out drunk, then I secretly checked his smartphone. There were so many messages that I transferred all the data to my phone. Reviewing it all night, I uncovered a shocking truth. What is this? Has he been cheating for 9 years? My horrible suspicion that he might be cheating turned out to be spot on. Moreover, it seems Sam started his affair right after John was born. As I read further, an unbelievable truth emerged. He had a wedding ceremony. Incredibly, Sam had held a wedding ceremony with his mistress. Checking the date, it was just a month ago. That was the day Sam said he was going on a business trip for 3 days. It appears his mistress knew Sam was married but believed his promise to leave me, and they went ahead with the ceremony. She sent diluted messages about wanting to become a real married couple as soon as possible. The next day, I fell ill and was bedridden. My love for Sam had faded a long time ago. I had stayed with Sam because he was the father of our children. And due to a sense of resignation for the man I had once loved enough to marry. Yet, I was deeply shocked by his betrayal. And on this particular day, Sam came home early, opened the bedroom door, and said to me as I lay there, "Hey, where's my dinner?" Normally, one would worry if someone was in bed at this hour, wondering if they were ill. But Sam, only thinking of himself, seemed indifferent to my well-being. "Sorry, I'm feeling unwell, please make it yourself." What, seriously, you just want to slack off, don't you? Hearing Sam speak in such a disappointed tone, my mood sinks to rock bottom. It's Sam's fault that I'm bedridden and feeling sick. Despite his betrayal of our family, Sam has been going about his days unfazed. What was all our married life about? I can no longer live with this man. As I lay bedridden from shock, the kids came to me. "Mom, what's wrong? Did you catch a cold? Should I make some porridge?" Tears started rolling down my cheeks, moved by the kind words of my children. "I'm sorry, both of you, it seems that Dad has been having an affair for 9 years. I inadvertently shared the truth about the affair with them. It wasn't a conversation meant for such young children. Feeling like a failure as a mother, I apologized to them repeatedly. However, they comforted me, saying there was no need for me to apologize. "Mom, you don't need to apologize. The one who did wrong is Dad, he betrayed us, it's okay, Mom, don't worry, we'll make him regret this. He's right, just rest, Mom, leave the rest to us, we'll show him hell," they said with a sly grin. As I processed their words, the strength and assurance they showed dried my tears. I am their mother. For the sake of their happy future, I can't remain disheartened forever. "Thank you, Mom will try her best too." They nodded with smiles. But what followed was beyond my imagination, as they went on to help me immensely. 1 month after discovering Sam's affair, I had made up my mind and confronted him with a filled-out divorce paper. "You're having an affair, aren't you? I know everything." As expected, Sam flatly denied the affair. His face turned slightly pale, but he shrugged it off with a flippant attitude. "An affair? What are you talking about? Have you finally lost your mind?" Even in such a moment, Sam mocked me, making my blood boil. However, getting emotional here wouldn't be good. I took a deep breath and presented him with something. "Here, this is the evidence of your affair," I said as I began to pile the evidence on the table. At first, Sam looked composed, but as the overwhelming amount of evidence mounted, the corners of his mouth started to twitch. "What is all this?" "I've gathered evidence of your affair. Feel free to look through it. Just so you know, these are all copies, destroying them would be pointless." As Sam stood dumbfounded, I picked up a recording device that was on the table. Then, I pressed the play button and let Sam listen. "My name, I'm Kathy. Oh, do I have a boyfriend?" "Of course, I do, his name is Sam, and he's really kind and a good person." What followed was the voice of Kathy, Sam's mistress. Sam broke out in a cold sweat and became frantic upon hearing the voice of his mistress unexpectedly. "Didn't I tell you at the beginning? I know everything." Interestingly, I wasn't the one who recorded this. The piles of evidence on the desk and the recordings, everything was collected by Jack and John. After discovering their father's affair, John used his allowance to buy a small GPS tracker. He secretly placed it deep inside the bag Sam regularly used, locating the mistress's home. After finding her home, John pretended to be lost nearby and made contact with the mistress. The audio playing was secretly recorded by John. Graciously, John had edited out his own voice. He acted like a cute kid in front of that woman to extract information. I didn't want to hear my voice acting all cute, so this is the edited version. John's acting was amazing, wasn't it? "Thank you for helping me, miss. You're very kind." "Miss, do you have a boyfriend?" he said, making his eyes tear up as he extracted information from her. "Maybe he should become an actor in the future." "Come on, Jack, stop it." John turned bright red and started playfully hitting Jack, who just laughed joyfully. I watched them in amazement for a while. Had they been playing detective without me knowing? No, at this point, it wasn't just play, they could be called skilled detectives. The evidence they gathered was that convincing. There's a lot I want to say, but first, thank you both. Thanks to the evidence you collected, I can divorce your father. I really appreciate it. But please, don't ever do anything dangerous again. You two are the most important thing in the world to me, just the thought of something happening to you makes me want to cry. At first, I was shocked by the mountain of evidence they had gathered. But as I reviewed it, I became convinced that it would give me the upper hand in the divorce. I couldn't thank them enough. But they are still children. They're smart, not at all like me, but their bodies are still small. The thought of something dangerous happening during their investigation sent shivers down my spine. Sorry, Mom, we just thought we had to do something. We didn't mean to cause you trouble, sorry. The kids took my lecture to heart and promised never to do anything like this again. Relieved, I embraced both children at once. You've done so much for me, thank you both so much, I'm the luckiest mom in the world to have you. Despite all that had happened, I decided not to tell Sam anything. If he knew the kids had gathered the evidence, he'd likely scoff at it as mere child's play and not take it seriously. When did you hire a detective? Sam, assuming a professional must have collected the evidence because I remained silent. However, I didn't respond to his comment, focusing instead on resolving the matter at hand. I've already consulted a lawyer. I told the panicked adulterer confidently. With this evidence, I've been assured I can divorce you advantageously. All you need to do is admit your affair honestly and sign the divorce papers, and then, pay the alimony I demand. Sam trembled, his face turning pale. Sweat dripping onto the desk. As Sam fell silent, I frowned. We can't have a discussion if you're silent, I was about to say when suddenly he spoke. It's all your fault. What? After John was born you stopped paying attention to me. I felt lonely and had no choice but to cheat, it's all your fault, you should be the one paying alimony. For a moment, I was stunned, wondering what he was even talking about. Then, as I understood his words, my astonishment turned into rising anger. Do you realize how ridiculous you sound? Ridiculous, how dare you say that to your own husband? Oh, I'm sorry, let me correct myself. You are the biggest fool of all. After John was born, you didn't help with the housework or childcare at all. I had to manage everything alone while caring for Jack and John. If I had less time for you, it's because you never took part in our family responsibilities? Even a little thought would make that clear. Sam grimaced, listening to my words. He must have recognized the truth in them. I had asked him repeatedly to help out. But he always had an excuse, claiming he was too busy with work or didn't understand how to do housework or childcare. It's all your own doing, so please, no more foolish talk. What did you say? As I spoke with a sigh of exasperation, Sam stood up, face red with anger. However, the ones who stopped him were our children, who suddenly appeared. Wait a minute, Dad, getting angry because it hit home, if you're an adult, can't you have a calm discussion? He's right, it's embarrassing to watch you, Dad, also, if you try to raise a hand to Mom, we'll call the police right away. You kids were listening. I had hoped to shield them from the divorce talks, so I had told them to stay in their rooms until we were done discussing. But both kids frowned slightly and said in unison. We were worried about Mom, we couldn't bear to think if something happened to her, plus it's about time you understood. That's right. We have to make you understand how selfish and childish he's being, right? We're okay, so Mom doesn't have to worry about us. Moved by their dependability, tears welled up in my eyes. I'm always busy with work, hardly a good mother, I thought. But even so, my children have grown up to be wonderful people. What are you talking about, both of you? This is not something kids should interfere with. Mom and Dad are having an important conversation, go back to your rooms. Sam suddenly tried to act like an adult, but the kids fixed him with a stern look. We had to step in. It's about time you understood, Dad, and how can you act so high and mighty after betraying your family for 9 years? Jack's relentless words shifted Sam's expression from anger to confusion. Nancy, did you tell them, this isn't something kids should hear, are you even a mother? I'm just going to give those words right back to you. Who's really doing things behind everyone's back that children shouldn't hear about? Isn't it you, and you still call yourself a father? John's sharp remark left Sam wide-eyed and trembling. Though Sam had stood up in anger, the continued retort from the two made him weakly sit back down. You've caused our children to say these things, have you finally realized the weight of your sins? Sam sat in silence, head bowed. Suddenly, he looked up with a pale face but attempted to smile at the children. You kids wouldn't like a mom who says such awful things, right? See, I'm divorcing her, you're both going to come with me, right? Perhaps cornered too far, his thought process might have malfunctioned. His abrupt statement briefly stunned us. But the children quickly regained their composure and unitedly rejected Sam. Seriously, are you stupid? Why would we ever follow a dad who has been betraying us all this time? Even if you offered us a fortune, we'd refuse. Once you divorce mom, you're just going to marry your mistress and live with her, right? There's no way we'd ever want to live in such a hellish home. Let's make it clear, we hate you. There's no way we would ever go with you, we're sticking with mom, you should just give up on getting custody. Facing direct denial from his children, Sam's face fell into despair. Did he still think, even now, that the children would like him? The children had lost their patience with their father long ago. I tried to mediate between my children and Sam at one time. However, I realized it was futile unless Sam himself changed. I had hoped he would eventually come to his senses and change, but this was the response he gave. I can no longer consider him part of the family. Do you understand now? I am going to divorce you and ask for alimony. I will take custody of the children, you'll be free once we're divorced, so you can remarry your mistress or do whatever you please. But Sam, pale-faced, shook his head. It's impossible, I can't pay the alimony. Oh, why is that? I don't have the money. However, the children quickly countered this. Come on, stop lying. You waste so much money normally, and you're actually quite rich, aren't you? You hit the jackpot with the lottery. What? How did you know about that? In fact, in addition to investigating the affair, the children had been looking into various other things, including Sam's savings. If you guys are getting a divorce, Dad will have to pay alimony, right? Do you even have that kind of money? You're always wasting it? Maybe we should check Dad's bank account. Then the two of them found a hidden bank book. They were quite surprised by the amount recorded in it. It turned out Sam had been secretly buying lottery tickets, and he had hit the jackpot. So, trying to lie to us is useless, make sure you pay up. John said with a sweet, innocent smile. Meanwhile, Sam's face twitched, and his eyes darted around. That money was supposed to be for a honeymoon abroad with Kathy. Really? Well, you'll just have to make do with a domestic trip then. Jack replied with a grin, matching John's smile. Wait a minute, don't you guys have any compassion? You're going to take everything from me, money, custody, everything. Compassion. For you, who have continuously betrayed the family and only had fun with your mistress. For you, who never helped out when I was struggling and just did whatever you wanted. Is there supposed to be any compassion for someone like that? The answer is obvious. Of course not. I replied, glaring sharply at Sam without a smile. You've really done whatever you wanted all this time, everything that happens now is your own doing, it's nobody's fault but yours. Please, forgive me, Nancy. No, I will never forgive you. My words seemed to be the final blow, making Sam turn paler than pale. Completely rejected by his family, Sam could only stare at us with a vacant expression. I immediately started the procedures for divorce and claiming alimony. Not only did I demand alimony from Sam, but from his mistress as well. Kathy really doesn't have any money. She's on a temporary contract and barely getting by as it is, you're going to squeeze money out of her. So what? Both you and your mistress are adults, right? As adults, you should take responsibility for your actions. I calmly brushed off Sam's pleading as I methodically proceeded with the alimony claims. During this process, I received a call from the mistress, who had apparently gotten my contact from Sam. I am truly sorry, I deeply regret my actions, please, can you forgive me? I don't have enough savings to pay alimony. Then you shouldn't have had an affair in the first place. With that response, I blocked the mistress's contact. I informed my lawyer of the situation and ensured they advised her not to contact me directly anymore. Eventually, I managed to secure alimony payments from both of them and began a new life with my children after divorcing Sam. The house we lived in was built on land my father had given me. Though the mortgage was in both my and Sam's names, my recent promotion ensured I could easily afford it on my own. I removed Sam from the mortgage and transferred the house and land deeds solely to my name, then kicked him out of our home. Sam, who thought it would be us who would have to leave, was utterly confused when I told him about the mortgage and deed. "This is going to be a problem if I can't live here, let me stay," he begged, throwing a selfish tantrum about losing the house. When I suggested hiring a lawyer to fight this thoroughly, he finally gave up and left. After leaving, Sam moved into his mistress's apartment, which was originally meant for single occupancy. It's quite cramped and they seem to be struggling significantly. They're even facing a breakup since they can't afford to move to a better place. Meanwhile, I'm enjoying peaceful and happy days with the children. Now that I'm not taking care of Sam, I have more time and emotional space, allowing me to dedicate myself fully to my job. This has led to discussions about a next promotion. If I keep progressing at this rate, I'll easily be able to afford the kids' college fees. The children, now free from their father, often look much happier. I used to think that they needed a father, so I never considered divorce before. I often thought about divorce, but convinced myself it would make the children unhappy. Yet, the truth was different. Continuing as a family with their father was the real misfortune for them. Now, Jack and John live without any worries, enjoying healthy days. By the way, I never properly thanked you too. What would you like? It's okay to be selfish sometimes. I know, I want to eat at a conveyor belt sushi restaurant. Great idea, Mom, let's go right now. I almost objected, saying is that all they wanted, but I stopped myself. They looked genuinely happy. These smart kids, unlike me, rescued me in my time of need. Luckily, they're still so young at heart, which makes me breathe a sigh of relief. Until the day they grow up and leave home, I plan to cherish and nurture these precious treasures with all my heart.